say, but majority of the innovations that we have actually featured so far have been Kenyan inventions, and what a way to go. And today is not any different. And let me start first of all by introducing my guest, who is Dr. Tony Omwanza. And Dr. Tony Omwanza is in charge of the Innovation Week that is coming up. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, Tony.
Thanks very much for having me.
Let me do the African thing and just, shake your hand.
Great, cool.
I'm told it's a very African thing. But anyway, There you go. So there's an Innovation Week coming up. And also to just let you know, I'll also feature some of the innovations that are going to feature on that week. But let's first of all start by talking about the week. What is this Innovation Week all about?
All right, we call it Nairobi Innovation Week. And the essence of that is, Kenya has been known to be a hub of innovation. But how do we recognize the innovations and the innovators? How do we develop the innovations and the innovators? How do we showcase the innovations? How do we build policy around a national innovation ecosystem? And that's the essence of the Nairobi Innovation Week. Mm-hmm. So it's a 10-year plan that we designed, and this is the second time we're doing it. And it's basically an opportunity for us to recollect what we've done the entire year in propelling the national innovation ecosystem from a policy level all the way to the entrepreneur level. And we run workshops, boot camps, hackathons, makeathons, and the like. And then we have a lot of plenary discussions and panel discussions on various topics of relevance in the context of innovation. And then we also have pitching platforms for innovators, where we recognize some of the best innovations we have. And then, interesting as well is that we set out a huge exhibition setup for young innovators, midway innovators, and established innovators. So there's a lot for everyone, private sector, government involved, development partners involved, and academia.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you've mentioned something there that got my attention, hackathons.
Yes.
Do those have anything to do with hacking? Are you hacking into systems?
It has the same flavor. I mean, the intention is to try and push the boundaries and create something positive, in this case.
Okay. So what you're doing here is you're putting hackers to the test and also a system to the test.
Exactly.
So that if it cannot be, rather if it can be hacked, you're able to pinpoint what are the loopholes.
One way to think about it is that we have a problem. I'll give you a very good example. One problem we'll be solving during the Innovation Week. We have what we call urban mobility problem. Transportation is a problem, all right? Now, one way to solve it is to solve it using bicycles. And one solution that has been tested across the globe is bike sharing. So bicycle sharing. Now, in your suit, are you comfortable to get from your house and pedal to work?
No.
Okay,
So,
why not?
well, several things. One, I'll be sweaty.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm not sure that this would be the right attire to get onto my bike.
Right. Now, have you seen, say, a prime minister of a country pedaling to work? Have you ever heard that?
Germany and UK.
Exactly. All right. So now that's a complex problem. We think about infrastructure. Do we have the lanes? Do people feel safe? Are people, vehicles are harassing maybe bikes, all right? There's a perception. Maybe when I ride a bike, people think, you're the poor guy.
Yeah,
exactly. So, where will I shower and all that stuff? Now, that's a complex problem. Now, what you get smart guys, designers, developers, etc., and then you give them the challenge and tell them, hack it.
So that's well, when we think about hacking, we normally think about computers only and systems. But there you go. Thank you. That's good. Now, this particular innovation conference that's coming up, is it a competition of sorts, or is it just a display of innovations?
Okay. So we've got a range, and what we've basically done is a program of programs. It's like a master program that is a skeleton, and then we try to put in very many elements to it. The first element we're putting in it is enhancing skills of people. So we develop the innovator. We are persuaded that you can only get good innovations if you build the mindset of an innovator to be problem-oriented, user-centered, critical thinker, etc. So there is capacity building. Second is that there is collaborative effort to create solutions. Third, there is paper presentation. There are researchers who are making a contribution to the innovation ecosystem. There is display. There is a competition. If I have already done something, I want to compete and win. So there is also an opportunity for that. Now, there's also the opportunity for policy. Sometimes you ask yourself, we have a lot of effort being done by Ministry of Education. There's a Kenya National Innovation Agency, there's a National Research Fund, etc. We have similar effort happening at the Ministry of ICT. We've got a permanent secretary in charge of ICT and innovation. We also have effort at the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Cooperatives, and there is a PS who drives the innovation agenda. Whether that is an efficient system is for us to discuss. Right. Sometimes there's a bit of tension. Everybody has a TOR. I need to deliver on my job description, etc. But is that necessarily efficient? We will look into that. So we've invited actually the chief scientist from Israel who manages the national innovation ecosystem in Israel. And the purpose of that individual is to expound on national innovation management. How do you manage the ecosystem seamless so that you nurture the startups, you support them into growth, and you actually help them scale? The Israeli government, for example, invests up to 95% of the money that a startup needs. 95%. It doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter how much money, as long as you can pursue it. Now, the government has to take the risk first, then private sector will come in at some point. Now, that's a policy issue. So there's that range that we're trying to accommodate, and we're working with very many partners who are driving various initiatives within the innovation.
Okay. How wide is the range of innovations that you're expecting to come in this particular conference?
Okay. We define innovation as change that adds value.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter to us whether it is technology. Technology can be an enabler. That's okay. But we think about it from agriculture, various subsectors, energy, education, transportation. So for us, it doesn't matter as long as we are solving a problem and we're creating change that will add some value. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll come to the details of what exactly that is, when you're expecting that to take place.
Yes.
But maybe just to give an idea for those who are not innovators per se, but is there any value or benefit for me coming to the conference if I'm not an innovator?
Okay, if you're not an innovator, there are many things you'll benefit. First of all, we are running an IP masterclass every day from Monday to Friday in partnership with Ministry of Industrialization, Industry, Trade and Cooperatives, the agency called KIPI. That's one thing. Understanding IP is a very important thing for even business development. You can come up with an idea, but if you don't know how to manage that idea, someone else takes it and can make a lot of money out of it. So you have to know how to manage ideas. That's an example. We've got, the plenary, which starts on the Wednesday morning. We have 3 cabinet secretaries who have confirmed participation: education, ICT, and industry. We've got the World Bank director. We've got a number of CEOs. CEO of General Motors, Barclays Bank will all be participating and looking at their role. IBM, for example, Nicholas Nesbitt will be there. We've got the country representatives for UNICEF. And all these people will be looking at different subjects. There are issues of sustainable development goals, innovating in those areas, innovating in the way we deliver our education system, innovating in the way we sort out county government challenges, public sector. KRA, for example, is leading a panel discussion around innovating in government. And we've got some prominent, government officials and people who have been there, like Professor Ndemo. And we've got a series of engagements, panel discussions running from Wednesday morning to Friday morning. There is a pitching session as well.
All right, I'll come back to you, but right now I'd like to go to one of the innovations we have, and I'll start with an innovation by one Dennis Ali. And if we can just come to Dennis here. Good morning, and good to have you, Dennis Ali. I can see you've got an interesting thing here. Maybe you can tell us what this is first of all and what it does.
Exactly. Okay, so this is a web and mobile application. The name is called Request. So basically we're on a mission to revolutionize the music industry in Kenya. There's been a lot of loopholes in the music industry. There's been a lot of complaints from the artists, and I feel greatly tasked to change.
To try and sort that out.
To try and sort that out, exactly.
What is the complaint? Is this to do with quality of music? What exactly does this do?
Exactly. So what I came to realize is that with such a wide variety of musicians in Kenya, there's a lot of musicians that they don't know how to convert their talent into profit, into money.
Right.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to do with this music application is to provide a platform for such musicians who might not be established, or they could be established, but this is a platform that they could use to at least make some money out of
their music.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good, because one of the things there that our artists complain about is the fact that if you're not able to convert your talent into money, then that talent, of course, cannot be developed, because you'll have to do other things to at least make your ends meet. But this is a good idea. So how does it work?
So basically, Request allows you as a musician to easily monitor music from multiple platforms.
Okay.
This could be radio. This is traditional media, TV, and digital streams such as YouTube, and we're also focusing on
iTunes and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. So the main focus right now for us is radio and TV,
Okay.
which has also been a challenge to monitor your airplay. So by monitor, I mean what is being played where, at what time.
You can tell how long it plays, how many times your song has been played, which station played it.
Yes.
Okay.
And what that means for you in making a decision in the future. What that data means for you, and how much money you could make.
I guess that doesn't only help us in terms of monitoring, but it also helps us, or rather helps the musician in dealing with the quality. Because if you're able to tell that this song played X number of times, you can now, scientifically come up with an analysis of why did it play and what happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, we seem to be having a technology issue here. Let's just see whether we can sort that out, because I'd like us to go literally into, it's an application, right?
Yes, it's an application. You can download it on your smartphone, on your laptop. So this gives the power to the musician.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, try and connect it and see whether we get back online. And to any musician, of course, and to any artist, this is an opportunity for you to get an application that helps you translate your talent into money. And what better way of growing talent in this country rather than to actually see that you have an opportunity and a platform that you can use to translate that. I think we have it back on. So maybe we can go straight into how it actually works. So this is now the homepage.
So this is the homepage.
Okay.
Yeah. Briefly.
So if I'm an artist, for example, what do I do once I get to the homepage?
Exactly. So first of all, we are in the testing period, testing phase of the application. So what we're doing right now is we are recruiting as many musicians as possible onto the site. So we have a sign up bar for musician. So in order for you
to register?
Yeah, you register. And you get access to a free 1 month trial of the application.
Can we see what it looks like? Maybe just go to your register.
Yeah, because I already had something set up.
Yeah, so, go on.
Yeah.
You click on to log in right there. Yeah. Then you have that. Okay. Yeah. Here I can see it has your username and password. Just the usual way of registering.
Yes.
Let's go to the next page. And hopefully you're getting that. Yes, we are getting it there. Okay, good. So what's this?
Good. So this is the dashboard for the musician. Yeah. So this at this point we're giving you an overall view of what is being played currently. Okay. So this is just statistics that we've presented for you over a period of just about a weekend, just 2 days, and we were monitoring one radio station, 1 FM, because at least they play more local content. Okay. Yeah. So I can just show you an example of how it looks. So here we have the total songs that are in our database right now that we are monitoring, and then we have the total number of plays that
I can see there's 34 songs there. That's the total number of songs you're monitoring.
Yes.
101 is what?
The total number of plays. So one song may be played several times on that station, and then this is the number of radio stations that we're monitoring currently. So it's just one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there is what is currently playing the last time we monitored. Okay. Exactly. All right. So I can just show you. Let's dig deep. Yeah. So on this certain day, here we have the artist name. So the top results that we got was Sauti Sol and Alikiba, the song Unconditionally Bay.
So these were the ones now at the top in terms of airtime play?
Yes.
Okay. But now question, because I want to also feature another innovator and we don't have much time. Question is, this is your platform.
Yes.
How do I benefit from this? Do I have to subscribe to you, or do I install this and I have access to this myself?
Exactly. So you have to install the application, but you're given a free 1 month trial to use. Okay. Exactly, as a musician. So after that point, if you're really convinced that this data is something that you really require, then you can pay a small fee to use the application.
How much is it? Is it something you want to mention, or?
Not for now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, no problem. We'll respect that. Then once we have this, at least you're able to have a proper scientific way of telling how many times your song is played, where it is played. Yes. But how does that translate to money?
Exactly. So this means that as a musician, now you have the power to make decisions. With this data, you can even approach advertising agencies. You can approach people who use musicians as a core in the business models and tell them, this is how I'm performing. You should use me as I'm this popular on radio, I'm this popular on TV. Use me for your brand.
And even for advertising, yes, it definitely goes with numbers.
And then just to add on, this is also very important when it comes to monitoring of your royalties, collection of royalties from the collective management organizations such as MCSK. So if you have this data, then you can at least claim and say that I should be getting X amount of money. Why am I getting this
much?
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll come back to you if time allows, but I'd like now to feature, this is one of the gentlemen who's going to be featured at the Innovation Week, but let me now come to another innovation here by one Ernest Kimani. Good morning.
Morning.
And good to have you.
Yes,
I see a very interesting contraption here.
Yeah.
Almost looks dangerous. I hope it's not going to explode in the studio, but tell us, what is this?
Okay, so this is a suction machine. It is a machine that is used in hospitals to suck up fluids during a procedure, be it an operation, childbirth. So essentially, it is part of a project that the University of Nairobi is currently partnering on with Kenyatta National Hospital and Concern Worldwide. The whole point of the project is to design and fabricate medical equipment locally. So we know we have a problem with medical equipment at the hospitals, and one of the solutions was let's make them locally and see whether it can solve the problems with maintenance and sourcing for materials.
Okay, so it's not a new invention per se, but the fact that now it's being locally produced, so of course that will bring down the cost.
Yes.
And also help us in maintenance.
Yes. So there's also a bit of innovation within the production of these machines because what happens is that whatever machine that we get from outside the country does not...
Let's just move this way a little bit.
So whatever machines that we get from outside the country are not necessarily made for our environment. So what we did was we used a new method of design, which is human-centered design. So we approached the people who use the machines. We approached the people who maintain the machines, and we asked them, what do you need out of the machines?
Okay.
So we initially had 9 machines. We had decided, okay, we can make these. And out of the 9, we spearheaded 4, and out of the 4, we have 3. Which have been at least we at least have a prototype, but this is the most complete machine. So currently we are working with KEBS to get it standardized and approved.
All right. Does it actually work?
Yes, it
works.
Yes.
Why
So
don't you
let me-
see it in action? So basically what it does is that it sucks fluids as an operation or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
So in case somebody was being
operated on and there is excess blood and fluid, so this is the machine that they use.
I think also dentists use a similar thing when they are doing their thing.
Yeah,
I have a dentist appointment which I'm not looking forward to. But anyway, I'm not sure they're going to be using. Let's see it work.
So as I demonstrate, I'll explain some of the features that we really changed.
Go right ahead.
So there's the on button is nicely placed at the top of the panel. The one thing that we changed was these are suction control.
Okay.
So this is how you regulate the pressure. Now this is that when you press it, it locks in there. So you do not have to worry about maybe someone passed by and it moved.
Okay.
So essentially, once you switch it on, you kink the catheter.
And kinking here, I think, means you kunja. Unakunja namna hii. But for those of us who understand a local language, ni kukunja.
Yeah. So once you kink, so you can tell the pressure. You set the pressure with the knob.
Okay.
So we'll just set it to maximum for demonstration purposes.
Okay, and just to let people know at home, there is a gauge. Is it called a gauge or what do you call it?
It's a gauge, yes.
It's a gauge and it's at 40. What is that 40? 40?
40 millimeters mercury.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So it's negative pressure. So we will use, I've just taken some water, put in some ink for demonstration so you can actually see the flow.
Okay.
Yeah. So you simply insert the catheter. So be it in the nostril. So for example, a baby has just been delivered and they have the fluids in the nostril. So this is what they use to actually extract the fluids. So what happens is the negative pressure is maintained inside the cylinder here. And what happens is it sucks in the fluid and the fluid falls into the jar.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you can see the fluid moving in through the...
And that's quite fast movement, I must say. It's quite, it has a lot of pressure.
Yes.
But you can also reduce the pressure.
Yes, you can reduce the pressure, but the one thing that was noted, because we also asked the nurses and the clinicians the same question, and the one thing that they told us is that water is quite light in comparison to the fluids that they have to serve, because
Like
it's
blood.
saliva, mucus, blood, that kind of thing. So the aim of our project was the maternal and newborn child health. centers at Kenyatta National Hospital. But this machine is, the reason we really spearheaded this machine is because it's not only used in the maternity wards and the newborn wards, it's also used all across the whole entire hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the fact that it has reached this level,
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a car that was once invented by the university, known as the Nyayo.
Yes.
Was it the Nyayo?
The Nyayo
Something.
car, yeah.
But it was invented. There was a lot of hype about it. But to this day, I don't see a single one on the road.
Yeah.
Do we have any hope of this actually being used in hospitals?
We actually have a hope for this. Hopefully, our hope is that Kenyans have reached a point where they actually trust their own people to actually make stuff, and they trust that the stuff that they get can be used.
What quality? Okay, go on.
Yeah, so essentially what we did was during the design phase, we got students from the University of Nairobi to design and fabricate the machines. So the initial stages was designing the machine, and we used American standards to design the machines. So as we are doing the designs, we are comparing to a certain standard, a certain medical standard. Then after that, the initial fabrication was done by hand at the University of Nairobi. Then we got a manufacturing industrial area to actually make this machine as it is right now. Then at some point, we now decided we want to go ahead with this machine. So we got KEBS to partner with us.
Okay.
So what KEBS are doing, they're there to standardize the equipment, test it, and confirm that when we say that we are operating at a certain pressure level and that it is using a certain amount of power, that is exactly what is happening. And after that, this machine will then be taken into Kenyatta National Hospital for clinical testing, and then from there we can now talk about commercialization and actually putting it out in the market.
Okay, now that you're a student and this is what you're doing, is it something that you intend to follow up after you finish university, or will you hand over the prototype to somebody now to produce?
Well, that's something we're also working on, because initially the point was to prove that it can be done.
Okay.
The point was to make the machines. Now, once we've made the machines, there are two options available to us. We, as the project partners, can decide we go commercial with the machine as the project partners, or we can partner with someone, a manufacturer, to actually make the machine. So we just submit the designs. The students who did the designs actually get jobs, essentially, because they made the machine. So, come, let's make thousands of these. So essentially, we have those two options available.
All right, wishing you all the best, even in the Innovative Week that's coming up.
Yeah.
Let me now come, and as we wind up with Dr. Omwanza, maybe you can now give us details of the innovations. Definitely some very nice ideas being displayed right here. And of course, roughly how many exhibitors are we expecting?
Actually, there is a big dome that is occupying 50 exhibitors. And that's also external exhibitors who are paying to showcase their innovations. There is another huge dome of 30 innovators who are also exhibiting, and that's supported by Ministry of Industry. And then there's another group of 10 that is supported by Toyota Kenya. Toyota Kenya runs an incubation program, an academy. And then we finally have another group 10 who will be pitching. So that brings you to, close to 100 exhibitors.
Wow, okay. Yeah. And do we have to pay when we're coming in?
Absolutely no. So we basically made the registration free. Delegates' attendance is free. You sign up online on the website, innovationweek.co.ke/register. And we'll get your name tag, and you have an opportunity to choose which event you want to attend, because there will be several happening. On Monday and Tuesday, there's a total of 9 events running parallel. So you make a choice. You can organize yourself. And then on the Wednesday and Thursdays, a lot of plenary discussions, paper presentations, of course, exhibitions running parallel all the way. And then on Friday, there's a pitching session. And we basically try to build this movement and split it into those 3 categories. Every Monday and Tuesday, there will be a lot of engagement, learning and doing, so that you're not just seated. You're learning and doing. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you go and see what someone else has done. And then you listen to someone else thinking through the national innovation ecosystem and the various elements of the ecosystem, that including education, our research, our funding, our startup. And then on the Friday will be the startups and incubator day. So all the accelerators and the startups and the investors, and fund managers are participating to try and see how do we support startups to scale. Because one of the challenges we've observed is that we have a lot of ideas. And you just mentioned it here. Like, okay, fine. You are kind of like skeptical a little bit. Okay, fine. Looks great. The prototype looks great.
It works.
Are we sure it's going to scale? Can we have 100,000 pieces out there in the market in the next 2 years? That's the commercialization bit. And it's not necessarily an easy thing. There are legal issues in mid there. There's funding issues. There's packaging. There's marketing. And sometimes scientists are not the best guys to think about marketing. And
They're used to invent and have it working.
Exactly.
And then
Somebody has to take it over from there.
Yeah, for the benefit, as we wind up, for the benefit of those possibly young innovators who have ideas and don't know where to start off from, what would your advice be to them? Where does one start?
You see, ideas is not a problem. I mean, we all have ideas, but I think there are many elements over time that we've learned. The first question is always, what's the problem? Is there
what are you solving?
What are you solving? Is there a need? Is there a real user? Is there a potential customer? And you have to spend a lot of time immersing yourself. And that's why I describe design thinking or user-centered design, where you immerse yourself into the experience of the potential user. Because sometimes you think you know. I got an idea, I saw it working somewhere, and it possibly could work. So when you immerse yourself and the mechanisms of doing that, then we move towards, okay, what are the possible solutions? Not the preconceived one. What are the possible solutions? And can the user agree that this is the possible solution to the problem? And then we begin to move towards prototypes, we begin to test those prototypes, and then we begin to think about who is the potential customer, gain traction, and begin to scale. Of course, there are various interventions along the way, and that's why incubators and accelerators exist.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wind it up right there because of time. Thank you very much, Dr. Tony Omwanza, and that's the Innovation Week. You didn't give us the dates. You did give us the days, but not the dates.
1st to the 5th of August.
1st of August to the 5th of August. That I cannot forget. 1st of August is my birthday, so pass by here and drop the cake.
I'll pick you up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis Ali, and also Kimani Ernest for joining us this morning and showing us your innovations. That's where we're going to wind up Morning Express. Thank you for staying with us this morning. And don't go away. Stay right here on KTN News. Najma Ismail is rough and ready to go on Worldview coming up at 9 o'clock.